Darlings, welcome to a special Juneteenth edition of the Gaily News, your fierce daily dose of LGBTQ plus truth, tea, and triumphant realness. It's Friday, June 19th, 2026, and today we are celebrating the unbreakable legacy of Black queer excellence that helped shape this nation while the world tried to erase it. I'm your host, Elliot Bright, serving zero tolerance for historical whitewashing because Juneteenth is about freedom, and our community has been fighting for every kind of freedom since day one. We all know some famous Black gays like RuPaul serving legendary looks or Laverne Cox breaking barriers on screen, but today we're lifting up some truly foundational African-American LGBTQ plus legends whose names deserve to be shouted from every parade float and every brunch table. These are the ancestors and trailblazers who mixed Black liberation with queer resistance and left the world gagging. Let's honor them properly, fierce, unapologetic, and full of glory. First up, the strategic genius himself, Bayard Rustin, 1912 to 1987. This openly gay civil rights powerhouse was the chief organizer of the 1963 March on Washington, the man who made Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s biggest moment logistically flawless. He faced brutal homophobia even from within the movement. They tried to sideline him, but Bayard kept showing up with brilliance and backbone. On this Juneteenth, we remember, true leadership doesn't hide who you love. Bayard proved that Black freedom and queer dignity are forever intertwined. Shade to anyone who still tries to edit him out of the history books. Sliding right into poetry and power, we celebrate Audre Lorde, 1934 to 1992, the Black lesbian warrior poet who declared herself Black, lesbian, mother, warrior, poet, and meant every syllable. Her essays and poems on intersectionality, anger as fuel, and the cost of silence shaped entire generations of activists. Audre didn't just write about oppression, she dragged it into the light and demanded we dismantle it all at once. For every queer Black woman navigating multiple margins today, Audre's voice is still roaring, period. Now let's talk a Stonewall legend who threw hands and hearts into the fire, Marsha P. Johnson, 1945 to 1992. This Black trans icon and drag queen was right there at the forefront of the 1969 Stonewall riots, refusing to let police brutality go unchecked. She co-founded STAR to house and protect homeless LGBTQ+ youth, especially trans girls of color. Marsha lived her truth loudly in an era that punished it daily, and her joy and resilience still fuel every Pride March. On Juneteenth, we say her name with reverence and remind the world, trans Black lives have always been at the center of this fight. Keeping it literary and legendary, we honor James Baldwin, 1924 to 1987, the Harlem-born gay essayist and novelist who dissected race, sexuality, and America's hypocrisies like no one else. Books like Giovanni's Room explored queer love and Black identity with unflinching honesty when most people wanted silence. Baldwin held up a mirror to the nation and said, "This is who we are, deal with it." His intellect and courage continue to challenge every generation. Black, queer, and brilliant, Baldwin was the whole package. Next, we dance into history with Alvin Ailey, 1931 to 1989. The visionary gay choreographer who founded the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Through movement, he celebrated Black culture, struggle, and joy on stages around the world. Works like Revelations still give chills and speak to the soul of the Black experience. Alvin lived and created during times when being out wasn't safe, yet his art remains a global treasure that lifts Black bodies and stories. Juneteenth is about celebrating freedom of expression. Alvin embodied that with every leap. And finally, the Guardian herself, Stormé de Larverie, 1920 to 2014. The biracial butch lesbian performer and activist, often credited with throwing the first punch at Stonewall. She spent decades protecting lesbians, trans women, and people of color, acting as a fierce guardian. Stormé's life was a masterclass in courage. From her performances to her activism, she refused to shrink. Her story reminds us that butch black lesbians have been on the front lines longer than most realize. We stand taller because she did. What a lineup of absolute legends. These African American LGBTQ plus icons didn't just survive Juneteenth's promise of freedom, they expanded it for all of us. They fought anti-black racism and anti-queer hatred at the same time, often without praise. Their lives scream that our intersections make us stronger, not weaker, because black queer freedom is American freedom, and none of us are free until all of us are. Thank you for spending this special Juneteenth episode with the Gaily News. Your presence here honors every ancestor who paved the way. This is Elliot Bright. Until tomorrow, stay fierce, stay free, stay gloriously black and queer.